in the Web3 space. You don't need to graduate from an elite university or have some kind of financial privilege to be able to enter this space and be active in this space. So anyone can ship. The second one is that this makes also the personal branding in the Web3 space a little more difficult because noise is extreme. The fact that the Web3 space is open for all makes it that everyone is trying to build their brand. Everyone is trying to talk, whether in a professional or scammy way. Um, that is why signal is the most important. Signaling yourself out, creating your unique selling point to the ecosystem is most important here. Also, there are no traditional gatekeepers. Like you don't need, as we were saying, any credentials or traditional credentials like diploma, work experience, whatever it is. Your profile, if you're a technical profile, then your GitHub is your CV. If you're a strategist, a product person, the products that you build are your CV. So your profile is literally your CV in the space. Also, the reason why the Web3 space is different is because the channels and the social media channels or like the traditional channels do not work really in Web3. So the Web3 space is less concentrated on traditional media, social media like Facebook or Instagram, and more on a mix of Web2 social media like X, GitHub, if you're willing to call GitHub a social media. And we can also mention Discord, where we're having the session here, Telegrams, and also in the physical space during the many Web3 events that happen on a yearly basis, but also through hackathons and such events, such as the hackathon that we organized last year with Hedera, the Hedera Africa Hackathon. So in Web2, you apply for jobs, you apply to get yourself known, you try to showcase what you're doing. In Web3, you are discovered. You are discovered through your work, you are discovered through your contributions, through your presence, etc. So that is why I want to explain that the Web3 identity stack is decomposed. I like to decompose it into 4 layers. The first one is the skill layer. That is, what is the value contribution that you bring from a skill level to the Web3 space? That is, you're a Solidity developer, you're an NFT artist, you're a Web3 marketer, you're a financial analyst, whatever it is. So if it's not clear from seeing your profile or talking to you what your skill layer is, then it makes the conversation difficult and it makes you harder to discover. So from the start, your identity should be clear. I'm a developer, I'm a researcher, I'm an NFT artist, I'm a DAO operator. So if there's no clarity, there's no brand. The second thing is the thesis layer. So people who are, I don't know, the CEO or creator of Ethereum, Vitalik, likes to call them cypherpunks. They believe in the thesis layer. That is, do you believe in decentralization or centralization? You believe in total privacy or controlled privacy? You should kind of your Web3 ideology kind of decides what your brand is and what you bring to the table. Are you bullish on AIX crypto? Are you bullish on RWAs? Are you bullish on privacy? So this is super important too. The third one is the proof layer. That is, you told me you're a Solidity developer, for example. I need to see your GitHub contributions. I need to see your hackathon wins, your research threads, your white papers, your Twitter account where you showcase your thoughts, your on-chain activity, where you trade and do your financial analysis, whatever it is. So the reason why this is so important is that Web3, the proof is public. That is, from your wallet address, I can see your on-chain activity. I can see your GitHub. I can see your hackathon wins. I can see your white papers. I can see everything about you, and this tells me what kind of person you are and what kind of value you bring to the table. The fourth layer is the distribution layer. That is, where do you speak? Where do you exist? Do you exist on X? Do you exist on Substack, for example, where you write longer form articles and stuff like that? Do you exist on GitHub because you're a developer? Do you exist on Discord communities like here? Do you exist on events? So if there's no distribution of the three aforementioned layers, then there's no expertise. Your expertise or your value becomes invisible. Um, is there is there any questions? All right, we move ahead. So next is your positioning. That is, you should ask yourself three questions. The first one is, and we'll try to do this as an experiment here. The first one is, what do I want to be known for? The second one is, what problem do I obsess over? And the third one is, who should recognize me? What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known as a Web3 marketer? Do I want to be known as a um, senior developer? Whatever it is, what do I want to be known as for? What problem do I obsess over? Like I obsess, like personally, I obsess over privacy, zero knowledge proofs, fully homomorphic encryption. I live with the thesis that blockchain cannot remain public, that people need privacy to bring the products to the masses. Who should recognize me? Do I want to be recognized by developers, by founders, by recruiters, by VCs, by protocol teams? And this, if I'm able to answer these three questions, then I will be very, very, very good at creating my Web3 brand. Um, Anyone has any questions until now? Cool. The fourth layer that I want to be talking about is building authority in public. In Web3, as we said, proof is public. That is, if you want your expertise to be visible, you need to showcase it publicly. That is, you need to write in public. For example, if you're a Solidity developer, write about your projects in public, write about the recent developments in Solidity in public. If you're a Web3 marketer, write about the latest growth hacking mechanisms, techniques in public. Share breakdowns and share your expertise. Show, don't tell. Like, don't tell me I'm a senior Web3 developer. Show me how you're a Web3 developer. Show me, like, this is how you, I don't know, build an NFT marketplace on Ethereum in 3 hours. And you publish a tutorial. Then I know that you know your stuff, that you know your shit. And ship small, like create anything to showcase your expertise. Tools, dashboards, smart contracts, templates, bots, educational content, whatever it is, and comment intelligently. The third, this is one of the most important things. You don't need 100,000 followers. You don't need to bring your attention to the masses. You need to bring to at your attention and your expertise to the people that really matter. That the people that who are gonna provide value for you. If I'm a founder, then I need my followers to be more around either people building in the same space or like VCs or like clients. We need to have an idea from the start on who we want to market to and who we want our identity to be showcased to. Any questions? All right. Moving to the next thing. All right. So in Web3, you can go one or two ways. You can either go with a pseudonym. You can either remain anonymous. That is, your profile picture is an NFT and your name is not your real name. Like your name for me in Telegram is Roquai and my profile picture is an NFT. So the pros of going this route is to have your creative freedom, is to have your expertise or your identity literally only tied to your Web3 wallet. And it's less reputational risk because a lot of things happen in Web3. So sometimes you give an opinion that you're not really proud of, and then people can really give you a hard time for that if they know your real identity. Now, the cons of going anonymous in Web3 is that it's very hard to get Web2 and institutional recognition. That is for traditional players in the Web2 space. It's very hard for them to recognize you if they don't know your real identity, because sadly this is still our world, and we still operate in a pretty much in a way where real identity is the brand in the Web2 space, in the traditional space. And also media appearances. Now, if you're a founder or something, PR becomes harder for you because I don't think you're gonna have like a business wire. Someone tagged me. You guys still hear me? Does everyone still hear me?
Yes, Mal, we can hear you very well, sir. But
All
we have
right.
a question in the chat. Santa asked
Yeah,
how.
I'm not seeing. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So Santa asked how to approach Web3 company for a spontaneous application. That could be a great question, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly wouldn't approach the company directly, but I would approach the person that I think would be interesting for me to make a decision. Like if, for example, if I'm a developer and I want to work, for example, at Uniswap, then emailing the HR person at Uniswap or emailing the contact email of Uniswap would be really difficult to get me through the door, because HR person is probably a traditional Web2 person. They cannot assess my skills and they get hundreds of email. A smarter strategy would be to try to locate another Web3 developer inside Uniswap, or a senior developer or a development manager at Uniswap, and try to build a connection with them. I locate their profile on Twitter and I try to talk to them, and I try to reply to their comments and get them interested in my profile. And then I would just swiftly ask them maybe for I would very swiftly maybe ask them for a recommendation. That I think would be a much easier or much more. It's still difficult. I'm not gonna say that this will work 100% of the time, but that at least will give me a much higher chance to succeed, rather than going through the careers page or the emailing the HR person at Uniswap. I hope that helped answer your question.
Yeah, yes, Smile, that could be answering his question. But I see that the discussion is on fire right now. But Santa said, but sometimes sending to the HR is not efficient because she can bypass you directly. So Nad said,
100%, yeah.
yeah, Nad added, so it would be good also to contribute on their GitHub. Does
Yeah,
that work well?
Yes, 100%. This is very smart. And I think Santa, if you want to join us also on the stage, I think a lot of people could benefit from your expertise. This is really important and a really good point because most of the projects in Web3 are public. And so a lot of people you can contribute directly to the project's GitHub, and that might get you noticed. This is a very good point. Yes.
Exactly.
Um,
And Sine said said
mhm.
I've decided to go with my real identity as brand as I feel it builds long-term trust. Are there any drawbacks to doing this in the Web3 space?
I mean, this was gonna be exactly my next point.
Right.
So, in the Web3 space, your real identity, as you said, it builds stronger long-term leverage. It gives you easier capital access. So now the Web2 people and the institutionals um, now will give you a much higher recognition because they know you. It's easier for you to hire or be hired or build partnerships with people because they know who you really are. They know your true identity. Um, but the cons is that it's a higher basically reputational risk. So if next day you want to on the next day you want to change your identity, change your profile, or like you said something like, for example, you said I'm bullish on FTX in 2020, and then FTX went bust, and now everyone knows who you are, and it's much harder for you to rebuild your identity or rebuild your personal brand. The advantage of having your identity anonymous is that you can actually have a clear slate every time you you can easily, like, if you're not satisfied with your personal brand anymore, you can just delete your socials and create a new wallet, and you're practically a brand new person. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, she said understood. So all clear, I think. Yep.
Awesome. And one other thing I really wanted to mention in Web3 is that reputation compounds on chain. So your first hackathon, your first collab, your first protocol mention, your first viral thread, basically your brand is a cumulative proof of competence. So the more hackathons you do, the more you write on social media, the more you create partnerships, the more that accumulates and the more that adds to your brand. So this is very important. Um, Now to the things I would really consider before doing, the things that I um, would estimate as not very good, or like common mistakes that people do, is posting hot takes without substance. Like saying, for example, sorry, saying Ethereum will top Bitcoin. Ethereum will top Bitcoin is a hot, under um, controversial take. Now, if you build a narrative and say, for these reasons, I believe that Ethereum will top Bitcoin, or say that ZK is going to be the consensus layer in the next 5 years. If you just mention that, because I see a lot of people on Twitter just say these random things, Bitcoin will become $1 million. Okay, but they don't add any proof or like anything to support um, these hot claims or hot takes. It's gonna be very hard to sound smart. You're not gonna sound smart, and even if that happens, people will not be like, "Oh, this person said that Bitcoin will go to 1 million. Now Bitcoin is 1 million." Everyone will just think that you're just someone just publishing stuff because you just throw 100 hot takes and wish that one of them becomes true. So another common mistake that I see is switching niches every week. The trends. So if RWAs are cool this week, then oh, I'm bullish for RWAs. 2, 3 more weeks, RWAs are not very cool or like have lost the trend. Now I'm bullish on privacy. The next 3 weeks, I'm bullish on stablecoins. The next 3 weeks, I'm bullish on, I don't know, on Mega ETH. So this for people, because people now understand that your profile is just following trends. It's not you're not focusing on one thing, and your thesis, as I mentioned before, shifts every 2 or 3 weeks with just the trends that are in the industry. Now to the next thing. One other common mistake that I see is over optimizing for followers instead of credibility. So trying to like everyone's comment and to agree with everyone, and to just try to sound like you're uh, pushing things just for the sake of pushing them, and just trying to attract more followers. I think that will not be very helpful, and I think on the long run this will not help you. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it as an introductory session for Web3 personal branding. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. And yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's Q&A space right now. Feel free to ask all your questions. I believe all of you got questions about your personal brand, so feel free. All questions are open, and Mr. Smile will be answering. Go ahead, guys. Yeah, I see Mr. Santa is with us on stage. Hello, Santa.
Hello, how you doing, guys?
How you doing? Wanna share with us some of your experiences, maybe?
Yeah, maybe I have a question. I have a
Okay.
question. It's about how to survive a bear market, trying to fight and convince people that blockchain is good. On the same time, like meanwhile, everything is crashing. A lot of Web3 applications getting bankrupt and everything. How can you still have the energy to convince that blockchain is good, and we are in a bear market? Like, how do you do that? Do you have any advice, something like that?
100%. So I think one of my long-term goals and one of my aspirations is to try to disassociate crypto and blockchain, because you're even more of an expert on this than I am. Blockchain is just technology. Crypto and
Yes,
cryptography is
Smile,
just a
but
technology. Go
it's
ahead.
still a problematic because you are talking with regular people, okay? People who
100%. Yeah.
don't know the difference between a cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Hmm.
They see them as the same thing.
Hmm.
So trying to explain the difference would be
Hmm.
very complex, and yeah,
I
it
don't.
will
I
put
don't
a lot of
think.
blah blah blah. Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think we should try to explain what crypto is or what blockchain is, or I don't think we should try even to convince people that crypto is good or that blockchain is good. I think one of the biggest mistakes in the Web3 space is overemphasizing the role of the technology in the space rather than the utility of the technology. So one of the reasons, for example, why stablecoins have become such a great success is that stablecoins they just solve problems for people without just bringing all of the bullshit of Web3 and crypto. Now you see that people use stable coins not just because they love crypto, they love blockchain. Some people use stable coins to just send money home when you have your mom is in Burkina Faso and you work in Germany and you can't send her money home. Stable coins, you can do it in 3 seconds and you don't have to pay any fees. When you're a kid in Nairobi and you need to transact internationally and you need a card, you use a crypto card on stable coins because it works and because it helps you. You don't need any convincing about why crypto is good or blockchain is good. So I think, yeah, as I said, I think one of the biggest mistakes is trying to explain crypto or blockchain. Like you don't see people trying to explain, for example, I don't know, why using Java to is better than using Next.js for. And I'm just saying anything here. I'm not a technical person. To a normal person, you don't see people explaining why I should use Angular instead of Flutter for building mobile apps. You just build things that are useful to people and people won't give a shit what technology you are using.
Okay, okay. So your let's say your vision is to maybe to not mention that you are using blockchain behind the scenes, just like do your
Why would I
marketing
use
kind of.
why would I what is the value in telling like a normal person who just wants to pay for stuff or wants to uh I don't know, do anything, what would be the value of telling them that you're using blockchain?
Because it's a marketing strategy. Like there is a lot of like projects that uses just the word AI, try to put it in the slogan everywhere in order to attract people and attract VCs because AI is a selling word. Blockchain is a selling word as well. That's why we use it.
I
But is it
honestly
like a
not
one-time ticket? If we used it once, we cannot, yeah, we cannot remove it after that. Or how do you make a strategy in order to market a Web3 project?
people use AI because AI has proven to be useful. Like people use AI on every slide because when people listen or hear the word AI, they think ChatGPT, they think the Claude Code, they think all of these apps that help me. Blockchain does not have the same connotation. It actually has kind of an opposite connotation. It,
Do
it's
you think
it's
so? Okay.
yeah, I think it has an opposite connotation because blockchain for the normal person is always correlated with crypto, and crypto is correlated with scams, with price volatility, with all of this bullshit that you see happening in the market right now. So telling like your mom, for example, just who's trying to find a good credit card to pay for stuff or to pay for Facebook ads, that your app uses blockchain, the first thing that will come to our mind or to a normal person's mind, oh, blockchain. So you're using crypto. Oh my God, my funds can be stolen. My card can be stolen. So I think the better thing to do is just to describe how your app is useful. Like, for example, as I said, stable coins, they're very useful to people from all over the world. Um, you tr-
But let's be honest with each other, Ismail. So
uh-huh.
right now, like when you say blockchain, why all people they are interested in blockchain technology, and whenever they hear the word blockchain, they are attracted directly because they know that
Honestly, it
Bitcoin.
depends on you on who you're talking about.
It
Uh,
depends. It depends. Of course, it
yeah,
depends. But let's not deny that blockchain, like cryptocurrencies, they are the fruit of this technology. And since, yeah, they're pretty attractive, we know a lot of people who made millions of dollars, like trading these cryptocurrencies, and probably that's why people they are attracted to this technology. Don't you see that?
Again, it depends on your target audience. If your target audience is young people who look at making money through trading or stuff like that, then you're right. Blockchain will be an attractive keyword for them. If your target audience is, as you said earlier, like a normal person just trying to find a better tool to solve their needs, whether is it's sending money home or like getting their art sold online or whatever it is. I don't think it's useful for them to hear the word blockchain.
Okay. Okay. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So the best, I think, uh, let's say, approach in order to market a Web3 project is only talking about the utility.
For me, this is a personal opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got my answer. Thank you, Smile.
You're welcome.
Hello, Ismail. How are you guys?
Hello. Hi.
So
Hi,
I have
Aziz.
a strategic question. What are
Uh-huh.
the biggest mistake people can make when he build his personal brand in Web3 space?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay. What are the biggest mistake people can make when building a personal brand in Web3 space?
Yeah. I mean, there are some of the. I'll go through them again. Some of the mistakes that I mentioned earlier. One of them, as I said, is trying to just jump on the trend, because in Web3, jumping on the trend, sometimes it's good and it helps, but sometimes it's really bad. Like when FTX, for example, was live in 2021, a lot of people just bought onto the FTX trend and were like, FTX is super good, it helps me and stuff like that. And then FTX went bust and became one of the biggest scams in Web3. And then the people who were shouting for it, for example, they didn't fare very well. Some other mistake, as I said, is posting just hot takes for the sake of hot takes. Like Bitcoin will go to 1 million. Like crypto communities that is I don't know, the best community ever. Like just saying stuff that is controversial just for the sake of it being like controversial. I don't think it's it's really useful, and I don't think it helps with your brand. So these are some of the things that I believe would not be good things to do to build your Web3 brand.
Hello, hello, Ismail. I have a
Hello,
quick.
Nadia.
I want to know how can AI help you develop your personal branding? There are some kind of tools that can help you do it,
Mhm,
like automation tools. And what do you think about the quality of the content generated with
mhm.
Gen AI? Thanks.
I think AI in Web3, I think AI is a double-edged sword. One, it can really help you if you're trying to build your personal brand by, for example, if you're a developer and you're a developer and you know this and you know that how much AI helps you develop good quality code and ship your applications faster and stuff like that. So it can help you build in public more and stuff like that. It can help you really create like visuals. It can help you with design. It can help you with a lot of things. Even in writing, it can really help. So, but one of the mistakes of building with AI is trying to rely fully on AI and trying and failing to separate your personal value and contribution with AI. And this is one of the reasons, like why the Web3 brands and Web3 experts still try to separate their brands from AI written content. And what we call right now on crypto Twitter, we call it AI slop. Is you have hundreds of people who are just writing bullshit content, who are just writing stuff with AI, and it's really clear. You can see from the post structure, you can see from the sentences, you can see about the excitement. Because AI, when it's not guided, it can produce things that are overly hyped, overly excited. One of the best things to spot AI content is building negation and then contrast and then positive statements. I'll give you an example. Like if you really focus, you'll see that a lot of the comments on Twitter or a lot of the posts on Twitter, you'll find them. For example, zero knowledge proof is not this. In fact, it's that. I don't agree with this. Here's how I see it. This is not just this, but it's also that. So AI really likes to use these sentence structures. It really likes to use this negative contrast of building sentences, and so it's really clear when someone is using them. It also builds like very hypey comments like, "Oh, this is super cool. Ethereum is gonna go to the moon," stuff like that. AI uses a lot of emotion instead of human writing. So in terms of everyone is using AI, and also it makes you recognizable. And once your brand is tarnished, once people start seeing that you're just writing AI slop, even when you write something valuable or interesting or insightful, everyone will be like, "Oh, he just wrote this with AI. I will not take it seriously."
Fair
So
enough.
so just to summarize, it's a double-edged sword.
All right. Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was sharing that I agree with you on the idea that the common person cares about how it's useful, how a tool is useful to them. They don't care about the jargon around stable coins and APYs and all of that. They want to know, how is this tool useful to me? And I am currently shaping my niche around DeFi and stable coins and their usefulness to the common person. And I'm highlighting, the kind of projects that do that. For instance, I was in a hackathon where, in a hackathon team that was building a tool on Base that allows people to buy airtime with stable coins. There isn't a tool like that in the market at the moment. So in Africa, people buy airtime all the time. It's just part of it, but they can't buy airtime with stable coins. So things like that. Things like yeah. So I'm kind of trying to highlight tools like that around stable coins and DeFi.
Oh, cool. This is really interesting, and I think this is one of the things that I mentioned earlier, is that you should focus on your thesis and your niche, and you should build thought leadership around that. Right? People start looking up to you when they want to hear about stable coins or like DeFi or things like that, and they're like, "Oh, okay, now I don't know. This person said this, so this is interesting," and you start influencing people with your statements and your thoughts.
Thank you. Will do.
Ismail, can you hear me? I have can you give us, please, some advice on how to avoid falling in these traps, the mistakes to.
I couldn't hear you till the end, Aziz. Can you say that again? I
Can
can't
you
hear
give
you
us
anymore.
please, some advice
Yeah, go ahead.
on how to avoid falling on these traps?
Your voice keeps cutting. Am I the only one who stops hearing Aziz, or?
I will write. No problem.
But I think I got the gist of your question, which is how to avoid falling in these traps of building a personal brands or the common mistakes that I mentioned earlier.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So honestly, my opinion always is just not to try to overcomplicate this. Is just try to be useful and try to really give your opinion, not just the opinion that you hear on the market. Like if you're a developer and you think the latest ERC standard is shit, then you should say it's shit and you should own that and you should build the reason why you think it's shit. If you're a financial analyst and you think this coin is like going up or like going uh, like for example increasing in value, then you should try to explain why you think that is, so that even if this coin doesn't succeed, people don't say you're just a scammer trying to pump this coin. They see they see your argument and they analyze your argument, and you see why they can even see why you were wrong, and people still respect you because anyone can be mistaken about stuff. The only problem is just trying to always be hyped and saying, okay, I saw that, for example, Vitalik Buterin, who's the creator of Ethereum, say that ZK is the next thing. Then I go on my profile and write, okay, ZK is the next thing. Then when ZK doesn't work out, for example, you will just be assembled into the people who are not credible in this space, the people who just share about hypey stuff and share about trendy stuff. But when you always try to be useful, you try to build thought leadership, like this is why I think zero knowledge proof is the future of the consensus layer. This is why I think that I don't know that privacy should be the standard layer for Web3. This is why I think Z is going to from $52 to $100 this year. This is why I think Bitcoin will reach 100K by before the end of the year. And you explain your reasoning and you explain your thought process, and you try to be useful to people. If you're a developer, this is how to build an NFT marketplace. This is how you can solve your stuff with AI. This you can use this AI tool to create videos. In this way, it's really hard for you to fall into any of these traps. Just if you just try to just kind of imitate or like people, the funny thing is that people are always looking for hacks. How do I get to 10,000 followers on Twitter, and what hacks can I use? The problem is that while getting it, they may even get to those 10,000 followers. The problem is that they lose their identity in the process. They lose their credibility in the process. Now they're just someone on Twitter hyping and pumping coins instead of an Ethereum developer who can provide really cool tools about things. And even the payoff of like having 10K followers who are common people who do not bring any value to you per se in terms of your career, your connections, or whatever, versus having 500 or even 1,000 or even 100 followers who are high value people, highly networked people who can help you with your career trajectory, with your project, whatever it is. I think it's much better, both in the short term and the long term. I hope I answered your question, Aziz.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ismail.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you for your time. So I will leave the stage, and thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? All right. Thank you all for attending the session. Thank you, Mohammed, for coordinating, and I'll hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, thank you, Ismail. Guys, if you have any more thoughts or any more questions, this is the time. Or with that, we can like close the stage. So if anyone, I don't know, Mr. Emmanuel, by the way, guys, Emmanuel is one from the Hedera Africa Hackathon participants. So it'll be good to share some experiences. That'll be good. Also, D-Bill with us right now. He got to join so late, but it's okay. I don't know, guys. Any final questions to share? Yeah, thank you so much, Sine. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Nidal. Thank you.